Blessings and welcome to today's Law Enforcement Daily Devotional. Today I read is in 1st and 2nd Deuteronomy, and I really hope and kind of anticipate that Deuteronomy is going to be like this for the next several days, because there is a great law enforcement takeaway right here at the very beginning. It's a picture of what government leadership should look like. And I'm not talking about, elected officials and politicians. And I say that, it does include sheriffs. They are elected officials. But I'm talking about people that serve in the justice system for government. And you're gonna see why I say that is specifically for the justice system as I read this. But first off, let me read Deuteronomy 1:13. Moses tells the Israelites, choose some wise men, understanding and respected men from each of your tribes, and I will set them over you. So his parameters and his expectations are not, go find me some book smart guys, go find me some college educated boys, go find me somebody who can interview well. He's not talking about that. He's talking about character. He says, go find me some wise people, some wise men. And to me, this implies older men, because, somebody who's young can do one or two things that look wise and can be mistaken for wisdom. And then, the next couple of years, they don't. So it reminds me of a saying my granddad used to say. He'd say, son, even a blind squirrel can find a nut every once in a while. A clock is right. A clock that doesn't run is right twice a day. So another saying, you don't have to brush all your teeth, just the ones you want to keep. It's the same principle of, don't just take one or two examples and go, we found him, he's great, he's good, he nailed that interview. Take some time and dig deep and really understand. He's saying choose some wise, understanding, and respectable men. These are men who've been in the community a while. They have seen how they acted and reacted in bad situations. People that don't just let their circumstances dictate their faith and who they are, that they're true to God no matter what the circumstances bring them. And sometimes it takes time to figure out who those people are. So that's what he's talking about. These are the men he's talking about who are the leaders. These are the ones who are going to take the lead, and you want people in the lead who are God-fearing men, who are wise and make good decisions, who make good judgments, not just fly off the handle, angry, vengeful type people. That's not what Moses is calling for. And I love the thought of this. And I especially love it when he's talking about the justice system, because he says in verse 15, he continues two verses later, he says, so I took the leading men of your tribes, wise and respectable men, and appointed them to have authority over you as commanders of thousands, of hundreds, of fifties, and of tens, and as tribal officials. And I charged your judges at the same time, hear disputes between your people and judge fairly, whether the case is between two Israelites or between an Israelite and a foreigner residing among you. In other words, treat them fair. I don't care what their religion is, what their color is, what club they're part of, or what church they go to. Treat everybody fairly. Do not show partiality in judging. Hear both small and great alike. Do not be afraid of anyone, for judgment belongs to God. Remember, the throne of God, or the foundation of God's throne, is justice and righteousness. They belong to Him. So we are officers of His court when we go out and do our duties, and we report back to Him, And I'm not saying, man, if you're not getting on your knees and telling God everything you did in the shift, God knows what you did. And everything we do comes back to Him. So it's very important that we get this right. And at that time, I told you everything you were to do. And this is Moses speaking to the people. Man, just a great law enforcement takeaway. And again, I've said this over and over again, and I'll continue to say it. If you are a street officer in a community, you're a leader. You are a leader that people look up to. They're expecting justice from you, fairness. You're a leader, and every bit of these characteristics should fit you. And if they don't, man, start working towards it. Anyway, great takeaway. Tomorrow we're Deuteronomy 3 and 4. So until then, I'll see you, and you guys be safe.